Hello learners and my dear students. Myself is Dr. Munawwar Iqbal, working as a Deputy Librarian in Maulana Azad Library, Aligarh Muslim University, Aligarh. So I'm going to present the knowledge management in libraries from ancient tradition to digital age. As this is one of the important topic, especially for the course in India ethos and knowledge system under the SWAM platform. So in this presentation, we will discuss about the what is the knowledge and what is the knowledge management in libraries from ancient tradition to digital age. So and in this presentation, we will cover the idea. We will cover the how ancient society preserved and transmitted the knowledge through oral techniques, written texts, and great learning centers such as Nalanda, Takshila, and Library of Alexandria, and how knowledge management practices changed during the ancient, medieval, and modern period, and how digital technologies like information communication technology and global connectivity have completely transformed the way we create, store, and share the knowledge. So uh, this is not a new concept, because of the idea of managing knowledge is not new. It has been a part of human life since the beginning of the civilization. The people have always tried to collect, preserve, and pass the knowledge pass on the knowledge to the future generations. So knowledge so knowledge management in the library is one of the important aspect for all of people. So I'm cover going to discuss the introduction part. So knowledge has always been concerned knowledge has been knowledge has always been the cornerstone of human civilization. From the earliest oral tradition to the present digital age, societies have developed various systems to create, preserve, and organize and share the knowledge. The methods and tools have changed dramatically over the time, but the fundamental goal has remained the same: to ensure that knowledge is effectively transmitted and utilized for societal growth and innovation. In the ancient world, knowledge was preserved and transmitted primarily through oral tradition, where teachers and scholars play a central role in maintaining intellectual continuity. Systems such as Guru Shishya Parampara in India, the oral school of the philosophy like that Greece, and the Confucian teaching tradition in China present early example of organized knowledge transfer. So with the invention of writing system and establishment of early libraries and learning center like Nalanda, Takshila, Alexandria, and so on, the knowledge management took a more tangible and institutionalized form. So the come during the medieval and early modern period, knowledge system expanded through the establishment of monastic madrasas and different universities, and the revolutionary invention of the printing press, which democratized access to the access, which industrial revolution and rise of the modern libraries further formalized knowledge of organization through classification system, cataloging, and archives. So in the modern digital era, the concept of knowledge management has undergoing a paradigm shift. Knowledge is now recognized as a strategic organizational asset managed through digital repositories, institutional archives, data analysis, artificial intelligence, and different information and communication technology. So the libraries and knowledge institutions have become active facilitator of innovation and collaboration rather than mere the custodian of information. So from oral tradition, and manuscripts to the digital repository and artificial intelligence. Humanity's journey of the knowledge management reflect its continuous cost of the learning and innovation and progress. So the library have play one of the important and crucial role in preserving and disseminating the knowledge of the centuries. From the ancient archives to modern knowledge center, library have evolved to meet the changing needs of the society. In the past, library were seen mainly a storehouse of books. Their primary function was to collect, as I have already told you, that to collect, the organize and lend the materials. However, in the modern period, library perception has been changed, library work has been changed, and library have evolved into a dynamic center of the knowledge creation, knowledge organization and share the innovation. Now I am coming that the important thing, what is the concept of knowledge and what is the knowledge management. So the concept of knowledge management is very old, as I have already told you that this is not new concept, it's come from the ancient to modern. So the concept of the knowledge is understanding the awareness and familiarity gained through the experience, education or study. It is the ability to interpret information and apply it effectively in decision making, problem solving and innovation. So then what is the characteristics of the knowledge? Knowledge, there are number of characteristics of the knowledge, there are number of features of the knowledge. So I'm going to some show you that the so like that contextual, dynamics, personalized, these are the characteristics of the knowledge. So it is important for to know the what is the characteristics of the knowledge. Next I am going to the what is the type of the knowledge, कितने तरह के knowledge होते हैं, like that there mainly there are two types of the knowledge, like tacit knowledge and explicit knowledge. Tacit knowledge, what is the tacit knowledge? Tacit knowledge is personal and experimental and how to familiarize. For example, institutions, skills, insights, etc. It is focuses on capturing and sharing expertise through monitoring, storytellings, and communities of the practice. For example, sharing of the library experience in handling rare manuscripts. So this is the example of the like that sharing a librarian experiences in handling rare manuscript is the example of the tacit knowledge. Another one is explicit knowledge. Explicit knowledge is codified and documented and easily it is easily shared one person to another, like is all too easily to communicate through the different means like manuals, database, research paper, etc. It involves organizing, storing and retrieving the information effectively time to time. For example, creating digital repository, as you know that the nowadays the library is creating the different kind of digital library, institutional knowledge bases based service, etc. So these are the example of the tacit knowledge. So after that, the what is the type of the knowledge? So there are two types of knowledge, tacit knowledge and explicit knowledge. Now I am coming the what is the knowledge management. So so actually knowledge management refers to the systematic process of creating, capturing, organizing, storing and sharing and applying the knowledge to achieve the organizational goal and improve the services. So the main important thing is that in the context of the knowledge management, it is a systematic process for creating, capturing, organizing and applying the knowledge and for dissemination of the knowledge to achieve the something for the organizational benefit, to achieve and to improve the services to the users, to the readers, to the stakeholders. So it is a like that process. So according to Peters, Knowledge management is getting a right knowledge to the right people at the right times. So this is one of the important definition in the context of the library and information science. So it seems to be the similar to the 5 laws of library science, as you know, that the formulated by the S.R. Ranganathan. S.R. Ranganathan is a father of library information science in India. So, knowledge management is a step-by-step process by which the piece of the data may be converted into information, and the information may be converted into the knowledge location. So it ensures that knowledge management should ensure that the right knowledge, the main objective behind that the knowledge management and knowledge process is that right knowledge should be available to the right people at the right time. That the entire system is based on these things. Because of that, if the person not get the right information at the right times, so that means the knowledge and information will be not as knowledge and information will be not important for the researcher and academician. So the right knowledge is should be available to the right people at the right time is one of the important way, or one of the important one of the important aspect of the knowledge management. So that means it is not only the managing of the information in the context of knowledge management, such like that book, journals, database, but it also managing the expertise, experiences, and insights of the people who work within and use the library and any other institutions. So now I'm coming that the what is the key components of knowledge management. knowledge management का component क्या, process क्या है, कैसे knowledge management को हम knowledge को generate करते हैं. So there are 4-5 key components, key steps of the knowledge management. First is knowledge creation, second is knowledge capture and organization, third is knowledge storage and retrieval, and fourth is knowledge sharing and dissemination, and last one is knowledge application. So first is important component, important features and important process of the knowledge creation. कहाँ से हम नॉलेज को क्रिएशन करें? इट इज़ बेस्ड ऑन द आइडियाज़, वेयर कहाँ आइडिया जनरेट हो रहा है, कहाँ से जो आइडिया का क्रिएट हो रहा है, कहाँ से नॉलेज एंड इंफॉर्मेशन क्रिएट हो रहा है. सो लाइब्रेरी कंट्रीब्यूट टू न्यू नॉलेज ऑफ द क्रिएशन बाय सपोर्टिंग द रिसर्च, digitization of rare collection, developing of the repositories, and encouraging the staff innovation, etc. For example, librarian contributes to the research data management like bibliometric studies, information literacy, and literacy instruction, and they are trying to organize the information literacy program for the user time to time. Second one is knowledge capture and organization. It is systematically capture the knowledge in various forms. Like knowledge is, like information is a different forms. For example, documents, multimedia projects, multimedias forms, then project reports, articles, thesis, dissertation, and knowledge also available in the form of newspaper or tacit knowledge shared by the experts, and also different tools like metadata, controlled vocabularies, and classification system such like mark or w code. It's help to organize this knowledge for easy retrieval. So the knowledge capture and organization is one of the most important component of the knowledge management. Now I'm coming to the next is knowledge storage and retrieval. Modern library use digital repositories, different kind of database. They are serving, they are providing the different kind of academic and citation and abstracting database, and they have also the cloud storage to preserve and organize the information. So for example, user can retrieve the knowledge through integrated library system and discovery tools such as different kind of search engine that connect the multiple databases. So Next is knowledge sharing and dissemination. After the organizing of the knowledge, then another one of the important process is knowledge management. Process of knowledge management is knowledge sharing and dissemination of the knowledge to the user in effective manners. So libraries and different institutions facilitate the knowledge sharing through seminar, workshop, webinars on the different platforms like social medias, and they are also trying to organize the user awareness program. So librarians act as a knowledge broker, is connecting the people to information and expertise they need as per they needed. So another, then next is the knowledge application. The first final step in the knowledge management cycle is knowledge applying cycle to solve the problem, improve the services of the users, enhance the decision making. For example, they collect the user feedbacks and analysis, help the library design and better services, and allocate the resources more effectively. So so it is a very easy thing. So now I am going to conclude the what is the component and steps of the knowledge management in a simple manner, that knowledge come from the knowledge creation, then knowledge acquisition, after the acquisition of the knowledge storage and organization, and after that knowledge sharing and dissemination, and then the knowledge application, and that is the means of the utilization of knowledge to proper the users. And this is the management, this is the knowledge management system, this is the based on these things the knowledge management. So next I am coming, next is, so the in this era, digital era, what is the role of librarians in knowledge management process? In the modern period, librarians have taken a multiple and different kind of roles. They are not longer just cataloger or information custodian or stakeholders. They have become a knowledge facilitator. They have become an information curator. They have become a digital literacy trainers. They have a data managers, and they are also doing the innovation enablers for the use of creative tools to improve the user engagement, to improve the teaching, to support the research and enhancement the research of the academicians. So librarian has become a key player in transforming information into usable knowledge and ensuring the institutional growth. So this is all about the what is the simply what is the role of librarian in the librarian in the knowledge management. So as uh, this topic is actually related to, I am trying to present uh, knowledge management during the ancient period and medieval period and modern period. For example, क्या नॉलेज मैनेजमेंट को कैसे एंशियंट पीरियड में मैनेज किया जाता था, कैसे स्टोर किया जाता था, कैसे प्रिजर्व किया जाता था, कैसे डिसिमिनेट किया जाता था. So because of, as you are already aware that you know that knowledge is not a new concept, it is coming from the ancient to ancient periods. So knowledge management in ancient India was highly evolved and integrated system that emphasized not only the only the preservation of the knowledge, but also it is the ethical transmission and contextual application. The foundation of this system rested on the oral tradition. It is coming from the oral tradition. The oral tradition means Shruti, and also it is based on the Guru Shishya Parampara. This was the that was the unique tradition of the ancient period to generate the ideas, to generate the knowledge, and it and disseminate this kind of knowledge from teacher to student, then teacher generation to generation. So this is the Guru Shishya Parampara. It is a unique teacher discipline model that served as a both an educational and moral framework. In the early Vedic period, learning was transmitted orally through memorization, recitation, interpretation. So this oral method was very effective, supported by rigorous pedagogical techniques that ensure the precious preservation of sacred texts such as Vedas, Upanishads, Puranas across the discipline without written records. So teacher like Guru, Ustad imparted not only the academic learning but also values, discipline and spiritual essence of the knowledge, making educational holistic and life oriented things. Over the time, as a writing system coming came into exist, it evolved the writing system, and oral tradition was supplemented by the written manuscript inscribed on materials like palm leaf, bricks, uh, birch bark and copper plates, etc. So before the printing, so there was the manuscripts concept was came into a rise, and the manuscript was written on the palm leaf, birch barks and copper plates. So these manuscripts extended the scope of recorded knowledge to include diverse fields such as philosophy, mathematics, astrology, medicine, Ayurvedas, etc. So next is institutional center of higher learning, such as different ancient institutions like Nalandas, Takshilas, Vikramshilas emerge as a repository of vast intellectual resources. These ancient universities attract the scholars, academicians, teachers from across the Asia. They functioning as both knowledge creation and dissemination hub. That time the Takshila and Nalanda was the hub of creation of and dissemination of knowledge. As you are already familiar with that, the one of the biggest library was there in Nalanda and Takshila and also Vikramshila. They maintain extensive libraries, developed they developed classification system for text and practiced method akin to the modern knowledge organization and management. So that time आप ये सोच सकते हैं कि उस टाइम में भी नालंदा और तक्षशिला में भी जितनी बुक्स था उसको उसको स्टोर किया गया था, उसको प्रिजर्व किया गया था, उसको क्लासिफाइड किया गया था इन डिफरेंट सिस्टम. नॉट दीज आर द क्लासिफिकेशन सिस्टम एंड कैटलॉग सिस्टम जो है मॉडर्न तरीके से आ गया है, बट उस टाइम में भी जो है क्लासिफिकेशन एंड कैटलॉगिंग सिस्टम का यूज़ किया जाता था और इसको प्रिजर्व किया जाता था इन डिफरेंट यूनिवर्सिटीज़ लाइब्रेरीज में एंड लाइब्रेरीज में. Thus, the knowledge management in ancient India was not a statics. They are coming the process to process, but it is a dynamic and living tradition. It combined memory-based oral system, written documentation, and institutional organization to create sustainable model of intellectual continuity. It ultimate goal its ultimate goal was not merely information and retention, but the pursuit of the truth. Truth means satya, wisdom, jan, janana, and self-realization, moksha, and demonstration that the knowledge was both of the sacred duty and social responsibility. So another thing is important that as I have already told you that the foundation of knowledge, उस वक्त का क्या फाउंडेशन था नॉलेज को ट्रांसमिशन करने का फ्रॉम वन पर्सन टू अनदर पर्सन. दैट टाइम द वन ऑफ द इम्पोर्टेंट techniques and process was Guru Shishya tradition. This is the based on the oral knowledge process in the ancient India. So in ancient India, the main way of the learning was through the oral tradition known as Surti Guru Shishya Parampara, which means the teacher and student system. As I already discussed, in this system, learning happened directly between the teachers and Shishya, Guru and Shishya, teachers and students. सो द गुरु वॉज नॉट ओनली द टीचर, उस वक्त जो है गुरु सिर्फ और सिर्फ टीचर नहीं था, बट ऑल्सो ए गाइड और एज ए मेंटर. दे आर वर्किंग एज ए गाइड, एज ए मेंटर, एंड दे were helping students to grow in the knowledge and good values, and they are trying to disseminate, they are focusing on the different kind of values and characters. So so the students learned by the listening, memorizing. So the important thing is क्या technique था, what kind of techniques are available to procure, to preserve the knowledge from teachers, and how they can disseminate one person to another, from generation to generation. So to remember everything, so the one of the important technique that time was the listening, memorizing, and and repeating, thinking and understanding. These are the techniques that what the guru matlab ustad thoughts this careful process and help to preserve the sacred texts like Vedas, Upanishads, uh, Puranas, word for word, for thousands of years. So to remember everything correctly, students use another one techniques, a special memory techniques such as a intuitions, swara, rhythms, metra, and repetition. These methods made a oral tradition strong and reliable. So that time the education in this system was complete and balanced. It focused not only the studies but also the moral values and discipline, spiritually and life skills also. So helping students become good and responsible of human beings. So next, in the ancient period, how transaction to written knowledge, कैसे written knowledge का transaction हुआ, as writing system came into existence, the oral tradition was gradually supplemented by the written manuscripts. So manuscript era was coming and knowledge began to be recorded. उससे पहले जो है सिर्फ ओरल होता था, ट्रांसमिशन ओरली होता था, बट आफ्टर द कमिंग द राइटिंग सिस्टम इवॉल्व, देन oral tradition was gradually supplemented by the written manuscript, and knowledge began to be recorded on the various material such as palm leaves, birch bark, and copper plates, etc. So this shifts did not replace the oral transmission. उस वक्त ऐसा नहीं था कि अगर जो है रिटर्न सिस्टम आ गया हो तो फिर जो ओरल सिस्टम ख़त्म हो गया, बट रादर इन्हांस द एबिलिटी टू स्टोर, टेक्निक स्टोर का शुरू हो गया था, रिप्लिकेट एंड डिसमिनेट द नॉलेज. रिटर्न टेक्स्ट एक्सपेंडेड the range of recorded subject including philosophy, different subjects like logic, mathematics, astronomy, medicine, ayurvedas, architectures, etc., and different like literature and so on. So the scribes and scholars and monastics communities played a vital role in copying and preserving these texts, creating early system of the knowledge organization and archiving the comparable to the modern library. So another uh, important is the institutional center of learnings. As you know that with that time India developed some of the world earliest and most renowned university institutions such as Nalanda, Takshila. it becomes center of advanced learning and research. These universities function as a repository of knowledge and knowledge dissemination hub, attracting students and scholars across the India and across the world like China, Tibet, Sri Lanka and different part of the Asia. They maintain extensive library with thousands and thousands of the manuscripts carefully catalogued and arranged systematically and preserved. Like Nalanda, for instance, had a multiple library. Ratna Sagar, this you can say that the ocean of jewels and seas of jewels. Then the held and a vast collection of Buddhist also important and non-Buddhist texts also came into exist. So these institutions also encourage the interdisciplinary learning and intellectual exchange and anticipating the concept of academic networking seems in today's universities like that आज के यूनिवर्सिटी के जैसा. Then what kind of methods are were applying of the knowledge for preserving and conserving the knowledge at the ancient period? In ancient Indian system demonstrated the remarkable awareness of knowledge preservation and organization. Manuscripts were classified and stored systematically in the temple libraries and monastic libraries. Teacher maintain personal collection also and also and annotate the text and oral commentaries, and then oral written integration create and ensuring that the knowledge was never lost even if the physical manuscript destroyed. So so in essence, ancient India practiced in multi-layered model of knowledge management, combining oral mastery, documentations, and continuous interpretation. So another important thing is what was the philosophical underpinning of and what was the legacy behind that. So the pursuit of the knowledge in ancient India was never merely utilization. It was grounded in the philosophy that knowledge like Janana was a path of the truth and Satya and ultimately to the self-realization moksha. So this spiritual dimension gave the knowledge a sacred value of learning was considered both a moral duty and social responsibility. So now in the ancient period, the knowledge management tradition and in India stand as a remarkable synthesis to intellect and integrity. It combined that precision of the preservation and permanence of the written documentation and the collaboration of institution and depth of the social spiritual insights. So as we navigate the complexity of the information age and revisiting these ancient models and remind us that the true essence of the knowledge lies not in accumulation but in understanding wisdom and ethical action.